Hello, my name is Max. I hope you're doing well. I wanted to do a video on the Epstein files because I think it's quite interesting. Um, and I also want to do, a reading on the Epstein files, Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. It all seems, to me, it seems really shady, very mysterious. Um, something's off about it, and it doesn't feel right to me. Something feels off. Um, so anyway, let's get to it. Let's see what the cards have to say about the Epstein files and Ghislaine Maxwell. Let's see. Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, I got the eight. I'm sorry, strength reversed. Um, so strength reversed. I mean, obviously that means no power, weakness. Um, Fatigue. Could be domination by others. Um, it kind of just indicates like a position of weakness. What else do we have? Like who's doing this? Like who is the adversary? I mean, we know it was James Comey's the corrupt FBI agent, um, the corrupt FBI boss, James Comey. His daughter was the prosecutor of Epstein. She was also the prosecutor for um, Sean Combs, a P Diddy. So let's see who's putting Epstein in this uh, position of powerlessness, of being kind of subjugated. So who is this? Like, what's the motivation? Got the Eight of Cups reversed. Eight of Cups reversed would mean let me get another clarification card here. I mean, it kind of means like end of a cycle or walking away, uh, or inability. Actually, kind of like an inability to walk away. Kind of like it can kind of indicate a return, which doesn't really help, does it? So who are the people after Epstein? We know Epstein has passed away, but what are the motivations? I mean, what's the real motivation here? Like, I think it can't just be, you know, he got a back rub from a 13-year-old. That can't really be. You know what I mean? There's something that doesn't add up. So let's see. I mean, I don't condone any of his activities, but I don't, and they may have been illegal, but it just seems like getting killed in prison and stuff is weird, right? Just for the relatively light prosecutions. I mean, light accusations, you know, from what I can see. I mean, it's not like he hasn't killed anybody. He's not torturing people. He's not kidnapping people. He's paying people, for back rubs, basically, is what he's doing. From what I can see, like if you look at Wikipedia, what they say, no one's really presented much more than that I could see. Let's see, what are they doing? Queen of Cups. This could mean Comey, Comey's daughter, Maureen. Queen of Cups reversed is like lack of clarity, lack of happiness. It could be indicate kind of like a lack of truthfulness. Let's see. What's going on with the Ghislaine? I'm really curious about her, and I'm actually kind of afraid for her because Ghislaine, we know that Jeffrey Epstein was killed, in prison. I know they say it's up for debate, but they say the broken bone, the bone in the hyoid, or whatever it's called, the bone in the throat, does not break from suicides. It breaks. They say a break of that hyoid bone would indicate homicide. And obviously, we have all the cameras broke that night. No, there was no cameras in operation that actually covered his cell. And normally there'd be like probably 4, 5, 6, 7 different cameras on that cell, and all of them were like broken that night. All of them were out of commission, like malfunctioning, not working. There's only one camera in the vicinity that was working that does not even cover the stairway to the hallway of his cell. So obviously, right, that's a little suspicious. That's more than suspicious, right? That would indicate to anybody who's not a zombie, that would indicate that we have a problem, right? That something's going on. So we know he was killed. So what about Ghislaine, right? So Ghislaine is alive right now. If she's in any way involved in any of this, she's going to know what he knew, or some of what he knew, which means she has a lot to say, right? And usually if someone's killed, so Epstein was killed, in my opinion. So usually you kill somebody because there's a risk that they're going to out somebody, that they're going to spill the beans, that they're going to say something that you don't want them to say. That would be the only reason you'd want to kill somebody, right? So she's possibly at risk, is what my point is. So I want to see, like, what is going on with her. Epstein Maxwell. Epstein Maxwell, justice upright. So this would indicate that she's going to defend herself, that she's clear-headed, that she's in the right, that justice is on her side. This is what this would indicate. Let's see what else we got. Justice, I mean, that's really big, right? That's big. Okay, so we have the Knight of Wands in reverse. this would indicate kind of like a bad journey, being subjugated. It can mean also a lack of energy, a lack of charisma, a lack of momentum or power. Um, it would kind of indicate she's in a position that she doesn't want to be in, um, and that maybe she doesn't have the allies she needs. So this in and of itself, I think, is kind of an indicator. Could be an indicator of bad actors, people countering what is good. Let's pull some more cards here and see. But this is the Knight of Wands in reverse. Okay, the Hermit. Hermit would indicate hidden knowledge, secrets. It can indicate skullduggery, like you know, toxicity or dark workings behind the scenes. This can indicate um, bad actors, people who are up to no good. Um, uh, this can also indicate for her. It really does indicate hidden knowledge. That's really what this indicates, and possibly it could also indicate more so if it's reversed. It would indicate if it would indicate isolation, but we'll take it at in its upright position. So this is the Hermit upright. So knowledge, wisdom, much knowledge gained, hidden knowledge, and it could indicate also, like I said, bad actors, like people that you want to watch out for, people who aren't good. Let's get some more info on Ghislaine. So Ghislaine, like her dad, was very wealthy. She grew up in a castle. I think she went to elite schools. And her dad, even her dad, who was a wealthy Jewish man who ran a publishing house, actually, and he died. He died in a very mysterious way. Ghislaine's dad died in a weird way, and actually he went overboard, like he was on his yacht, and somehow he went overboard, and that was it. They found his body in the ocean, floating in the ocean. So, right, that's a little shady, right? And I guess he had, some issues. He had some problems, with other people, other businessmen. We know, of course, Jeffrey Epstein. He was involved in, they say he was involved in intelligence agencies. He worked with Israeli intelligence. That's what they say. And I guess he worked with governments and high-profile people, like as far as like recovering money that was stolen, things like that. So Ghislaine is kind of linked to these people who have died mysteriously, and who had very high-level connections with the various governments and businesses and wealthy individuals, some of whom were probably not altogether good. I want to see what else do they have to say about Ghislaine. Three of Cups is like cliques. It can mean kind of like people you're with, people you associate with, people talking about you, gossip, rumors. It could indicate celebration, a party. Could indicate flirtations, lighthearted romance. Let's see what else we have here. Epstein and Maxwell. Okay, this is the Four of Swords. So the Four of Swords would indicate that obviously she's weary, maybe even ill, um, worn out, fatigued, needing rest. That's what that would indicate. Let's see. Let's see here. What's going on with Epstein and Maxwell? Two of Swords would indicate. Two of Swords would indicate indecision. Could indicate kind of like a paralysis as far as decision making. No right way to go. It could indicate just a lack of knowledge of which way to go, really. So it can kind of be you're in a liminal space where you could do this, but that quite wouldn't work out, and you could do that, and maybe that would be okay, but not quite. Like either way, it's like not good, you know. So it's kind of would indicate like like the saying, in between a rock and a hard place. Like you go left or right, and either way, it's not really good. It's not good for you. So that's an interesting card to pull for her. So I want to. I am kind of like I've said before. I'm kind of concerned about her safety. I mean, obviously, if they were going to kill her, maybe they would have killed her a long time ago. Maybe the death of Epstein, you know, was like enough to shut her up, you know. But I mean, whoever killed him, they're still out there, and I don't mean just the assassin. I mean the people that hire the assassins, right? So they're still out there. They're around. They're out and about. So, of course, we know Maureen Comey is no longer a prosecutor. She was fired after the failure of the Diddy trial. She was fired, but she was, you know, she's just doing it. It wasn't her idea, you know. She's just working for somebody, but so it's not. I don't put the blame on her in any way, but I think you know, there's somebody behind the scenes, somebody very powerful behind the scenes that's that wants these people discredited, dead. One or both, you know, either one or both, you know. So that would indicate to me that she knows something, and he knew, and also Epstein knew something. They know something that's very valuable, very dangerous. So I do think I do think Elaine is probably in trouble. Like, I wonder that, and I want to see if the cards will confirm that. Let's see. Seven of Cups. So this indicates it could indicate kind of like some sort of brief respite or blessing, some sort of insubstantial but, you know, ephemeral gain for her. It also obviously indicates many choices. You know, it's in the upright position, so this could indicate she has a lot of options. You know, that there's a lot of directions in which to choose, and there's not particular. You know, and she doesn't know which way is the right way. So it can indicate in a way kind of being overwhelmed or having confusion. But it can also, like I said, it's almost like it can be a good card in a way, but just not a really good card. Just kind of a card where there's maybe hope because of these options, right? And you don't know which option to take yet, but just having options, even if they're not great, you know, it's something. You know, it's something there. So, so I take this as a kind of a good card. but not that great. Okay. Let's see what else, Elaine. Yeah, I guess Epstein. He was like a really nice guy when he was growing up. You know, he was like a pretty nice guy. People liked him, and he was pretty friendly. And when I look at his face, and I don't see a villain. Like I don't see a villain. Sometimes you can see it if you look at certain people. You get it. You can see that they don't care what's right or good, and there's people like that. That aren't good. They're not good. They're not there. They're not here on this earth to be good. They don't care how good means. They don't. What. But Jeffrey, I didn't know him. I don't know who he is. But I just looking at his face, he doesn't look like a villain to me. I don't buy it. And Ghislaine doesn't look like a villain to me. They don't look like villains. Um, See, Jeffrey Epstein. He came from a Jewish family. Ghislaine, her father was Jewish. Um, so I don't know if anti-Semitism is a part of this. I don't know if that's part of it. I don't think so, but you don't know why are they messing with these Jewish people? Why are they doing that? But it's just something to think about. You should always consider the background of a person. Just to see. But I want to get more information on Ghislaine. Like her mental state, her safety. Is she safe? So Queen of Cups upright. That's actually a good card to pull. Um, Cups can indicate emotions, clarity, control of the emotions, control of your vision, your willpower, your ability to manifest. So this is a good card to pull for her. I think this indicates that she has like a reserve of like a mental or spiritual reserve that gives her strength. That can give her strength in this time. It can kind of help her tap into her spiritual power and her vision. The idea that your vision can kind of create your reality. And so I think she's trying to think positive and not give in to fear, because really it's your emotions that kind of can kind of feed into a situation. So if you have really bad emotions, you tend to create more negativity and so if you can create positive emotions in a negative situation, you can turn things around, or at least put the brakes or in some way mitigate or limit the negative circumstances around you. So I think this indicates that she knows this, and these prospects that she has of possibly testifying, things like that. Her new negotiations now with the DOJ, the Department of Justice. I think she's seeing results from positive thinking, even in a harsh situation. She's seeing those results, and it's encouraging to her. What's going on with Ghislaine? King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles. That's interesting, right? King of Pentacles. It indicates wealth, control, resources, resourcefulness. It can also indicate a powerful man. Um, That's interesting, right? Epstein Maxwell. Let's do it. Six of Cups. Six of Cups is, I mean, you can almost look at it as, she's actually, I don't know, because the Six of Cups is kind of like, they're in a castle. They're in like a courtyard of a castle, which, is guarded, heavily guarded. So it kind of reminds you of a prison, right? But the people in the prison are not, the people like the people in the card generally in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith. They're very happy, right? There's a very, it's kind of idyllic, peaceful and harmonious. The kids are kind of like sharing flowers and stuff like that. And the guards, instead of imprisoning them, they're kind of there to protect them. So I think this may possibly could indicate there's people that want to protect her. There's people that want to keep her safe. And it could be related to these, King of Pentacles here. Eight of Pentacles upright. So this would indicate working towards a goal and actually getting results. This kind of indicates future results, future gains from work done now. This is the cards that I'm pulling are not honestly what I expected to pull. And maybe it's trying to, these cards are trying to tell me something. I think maybe I might not be on the right track because these cards are very positive, these last few ones, right? And so it makes me think that she's on a train, on like a trail of hope right now. She's doing her best to not get bogged down or discouraged. She's seeing results from her powers of manifestation, her mind, and her mental strength, and not giving in to fear, not giving in to hopelessness, not giving in to despair. And I'm sure she's encountered quite a bit, and I really do. I expected to see some Nine of Swords here, and maybe we'll see that, in a later reading. But I'm thinking maybe I'm not completely in alignment with what my guides are showing me here, and for that I apologize. But this is a positive card. I mean, obviously in this card here, you can see in a way she's in kind of in a room here, like in a tower, kind of reminiscent of a castle, but also a prison, right? A jail. But she looks like she's keeping hope alive, and she's seeing results from that hope. I wanna. The King of Pentacles again, which is really weird, right? I just pulled that a couple minutes ago, about 4 cards ago. I've got it again here, King of Pentacles. This indicates a man, a wealthy man, a man with resources. I mean, it's upright, I want to. Let's see. Tell me more about this King of Pentacles. Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune indicates cycles, and it can indicate good luck. It can actually indicate good luck. This person on this card doesn't look very lucky, but the Wheel of Fortune, and it can be bad luck, but generally that would be when it's reversed. This one was not reversed. Um, so this could indicate a change in fortunes. It could mean good luck. It could mean good luck related to this King of Pentacles, whoever this guy is. Um, let's see. So Ghislaine, so this is interesting. So with Ghislaine, I have also, so we've seen that I have the upright Justice card, right? And now we have the upright Knight of Swords. So these indicate that she's on the right side of the law. That she's on the right side. Like that her battle is a good battle. Like that's really interesting, right? Because that goes counter to everything we've heard. Because we've all heard that she's a conspirator. She coordinated with Epstein, with all these all this sex stuff, right? So she's a co-conspirator according to everyone, the world, right? But we're finding out here with these cards that she's actually upright, that she's actually on the right side of the law, that she's upright, that she's good in a way, like she's actually with the good guys, which is really interesting, very interesting. But it's no mistake to pull an upright Knight of Swords and also the upright Justice card. That would indicate she's not guilty. That she's not guilty. That's what that means. Not from a legal standpoint, but from an ethical standpoint, or from a hidden knowledge standpoint, or from a spiritual standpoint. I mean, obviously, she's in jail, right? We know she was found guilty, but we know courts are not always right, not always right, they're not always good either, right? But this indicates she's good. She's actually a good person. She has good intentions, pure intentions. And she also indicates that she has strength, and she's on the right side of the law, like whether the law recognizes that or not. Again, I pull the Knight of Wands in reverse. Like I said, that can indicate a bad actor or somebody, an enemy. Especially pulling it right after the Knight of Swords. So that indicates like a lack of energy, power. Or could indicate somebody countering you, or going against you, or acting in an irresponsible, or acting in like a inimical way, acting like an enemy, functioning as an enemy, functioning as an obstacle to you and what you want. So, I don't like this, and that's really interesting that this came up again. Epstein and Maxwell. Here we go. Okay, the Devil in reverse. So this means she is struggling against powers. She's trying to free herself from powers that are working against her, that are trying to destroy her. So she's struggling against extreme negativity. But she's attempting to free herself from domination and subjugation. So right now she's dominated, right? I mean, she is lost. She's in jail. She's lost everything. Her dear friend is dead, and she's being charged with these weird crimes that the cards indicate that maybe she didn't have anything to do with, or so this is interesting. So struggle against tyrannical power, struggle against a very strong negative force. So that she's freeing herself. This would indicate that she's freeing herself from this, or she's attempting to, which is quite interesting, right? Epstein and Maxwell. Okay, Nine of Pentacles indicates she can't do it alone. That's what that is. Indicate like a need for a partner, possibly kind of harkening back to the Seven of Cups and the Two of Swords, a lack of not necessarily knowing which decision to make, or not knowing what to do. This means like kind of needing help. So when this Nine of Pentacles is upright, that means you're doing great. That's what that means. It means you know exactly what you're doing and everything's good. So when it's reversed, it would indicate not necessarily calamity, but a need for help, a need for assistance, need for a partner, and need for more clarity, more mental clarity, more of a capacity to know and decide, which options are best. So it's kind of like you're in the dark in the way, and you need help. That's what this would indicate. Epstein and Maxwell. So this is the High Priestess upright. So this indicates she's tapping into her power, her mind power, her willpower, her powers of visualization and manifestation. She's tapping into her spirituality, and she's on a path of looking for guidance, tapping into her intuition, tapping into the unknown. That's an interesting card to have. But if you notice in this illustration, she's almost looks like she's in a prison, right? Like there's like she's in a castle or a prison, and she's surrounded by hard rock. She can't really escape. She's kind of locked in there. It's kind of interesting. Epstein and Maxwell. Okay, Page of Wands. So Page of Wands is it's a good energy to have. It's an energy of exploration, energy, even optimism. It's also a card of messengers. Could be good news. It's interesting though, right? I want to see an indicator for that. I want to see some sort of modifier for that. So I'm going to see what is this Page of Wands. Could be a message, a messenger, just that overall. It could be youthful, exploratory energy of hope, of looking for somewhere to go, thinking broadly, thinking broadly in terms of possibility and also in terms of geography. Like, it's a kind of a card of exploration. So it could be she's thinking of getting out, but this also could be a messenger, some sort of or a young person approaching. So I want to see what is this? Page of Wands. Okay. Temperance, that's patience. So this indicates, that's an angel basically. So it indicates power, divine guidance. It indicates meditation, tapping into your spirituality, waiting, patience, waiting for guidance, waiting for messages, waiting to see what's going to happen with these meetings and these negotiations with the DOJ. That's interesting. This is we'll end it pretty soon here. I want to see, is she in danger? Is she safe? What's going on? This is the Empress reversed. Empress reversed indicates a lack of comfort, a lack of nurturing, a lack of care, a lack of maternal energy, a lack of comfort, a lack of protection, a lack of provisions, a lack of safety. So her current state, this is, upright, if the Empress was upright, that would be great. That would mean she's rich and safe and protected, and people are looking after her, and she's being nurtured, and everything's really good. So when it's reversed, it could indicate the lack of that. So this indicates she's in a place where she's not comfortable, that she's not safe, she's not being watched over, she's not being protected, and she's possibly in a precarious situation for her own health, her own safety. It's interesting. I want to pull another card because it's a fascinating subject, and I think I might have to do another video on this, or maybe just keep doing videos on this. And I really don't, I feel like, there's a lot to be said about this case and these people, and there's a lot to be revealed, I think. Let's see. Okay, Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles would indicate recognition, cooperation. It can indicate working with people, collaborating with people. It's actually a positive card for this would be like a positive card for your reputation, for your recognition, for people seeing the good side of you, celebrating the good in you, or seeing the good in you, or but I think this card is really what it's saying, just from what I know, is that she's collaborating with people, right? She's collaborating with the DOJ, and this is so this would indicate cooperation, harmony, working with people in a relatively harmonious way, cooperating in a good way, in a positive way. And also it could indicate possible good results from that, right? Good results. Maxwell. So Two of Pentacles reversed. So this would indicate being overwhelmed, inundated with new facts, new wrinkles, new things arising in your vision, and being overwhelmed by all the complexity, all the different options before you. So this can mean it kind of means being in over your head, or having too much to do, having more than what you have, having too many options, too many responsibilities. So that kind of makes sense. When I don't know if you've ever been in whenever you go through like a legal battle, if you've ever had a legal battle, it's very stressful. So this indicates stress, kind of being overwhelmed, having a lot to do and just needing help, basically. That makes sense. I'm hoping. Let's see what's going on here. Let's do this last card here. Epstein and Maxwell. Okay. Ace of Cups in reverse. So this is unhappiness. This is like missed. This is the card of unhappiness. It's the lack of an opportunity. It's like the reverse of an opportunity, the reverse of happiness. So this can indicate disappointment and unhappiness, and maybe some sort of positivity going away and negativity coming in to replace it. Page of Swords in reverse. So this indicates somebody who's rude or abrupt or unceremonious, someone who just kind of tells you isn't nice. So this could indicate, this here could indicate a bad actor. Obviously, it's a sword. Normally we don't think of it as a weapon in tarot. We think of it as a representation of the air element, so information. But it also is a sword. So it'd be like a young person with a sword who is rude, who doesn't care about you, who isn't about to be polite or nice, or so this indicates a kind of a crude energy, an unartful energy, kind of a hostile energy is what it could indicate. It's a Four of Cups in reverse. That indicates it can actually indicate kind of a clarity or a making a decision and feeling good about it, which is interesting. Okay, I am just about done. I'm going to do one more thing here because it's something I wanted to do earlier and I kind of got sidetracked. Okay, got the Hermit in reverse. One second. Seven of Cups in reverse. Eight of Swords. Okay, so we have the Nine. This is the Hermit in reverse. This is isolation, fear, secrets, enmity, skullduggery, lurking bad people. Seven of Cups indicates like a decision. You made a decision, um, or there's no more options, or there's less options. Um, that's an interesting card to pull. Seven of Cups, lack of options, lack of daydreaming, deciding. Kind of figuring out there are no options. It's kind of like a dead end in a way, or a decision has been made, and then of course we have Eight of Swords upright. That can mean you're blinded, unclear, afraid, um, frightened, imprisoned, and it's a bad place to be mentally. Which, and actually, all three of those cards are actually kind of rough. When you think of the Hermit in reverse, Seven of Cups in reverse, and then the upright Eight of Swords. Not a good. That's not a good combination. We have the Emperor here. This indicates a very, very powerful figure, possibly the head of a very powerful agency or institution or company. This indicates a male, a very strong male. Cooperation with this strong figure, collaboration, cooperation, working together in a productive, harmonious way with this Emperor. That's interesting. Yeah, I'm going to leave it there for now. I'm going to make another video as well. I'll probably be doing these because I feel like I've just scratched the surface. I think there's a lot to know. I think this can get deeper the more in detail we get. I was just doing a general reading at this point, but if we want to go into detail, I think we're going to find those details, and I think it's going to become very rich, a very rich story, a very complex story, and I think we can go deep. So I'm going to try to do that next time, okay? So I'll see you soon. Everyone, be good, be safe, and I'll see you soon, okay?